And three, two, one, go.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our third episode of Sports Zone. We're so excited that y'all are tuning in. This is our first live show instead of recording it and posting on our YouTube. If y'all want to see our previous episodes on our YouTube, just go ahead and go back on our page and rewatch those. We've talked about Deshaun Watson, we've talked about UNT basketball, but today we will be talking about Tom Brady and his trade to Tampa Bay. I have with me Michelle Brooks and Terrence Williams, two of our beloved analysts. You guys look great. You guys look healthy. Michelle, how have you been doing with this whole sports change without, world without sports?
I have my good days and my bad days, but I am really missing sports. It's tough because I'm a big basketball fan, and basketball season got really cut short this year, so I'm a little hurt.
All right. What about you, Terrence? It's a big part of our jobs. It's a huge part of our lives. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Honestly, it sucks that the basketball season ended, but ESPN is showing a lot of final games from the past few years. So I mean, that's very exciting. But honestly, as long as we have a football season, I'm all for it.
All right. Well, I'm right there with you. Football is my main sport. I do miss basketball. I hate how it was cut short for UNC. We showed a lot of potential there. But let's talk a little bit about Tom Brady. He was rumored to go to LA. He was rumored to go to Tampa Bay. I think Anthony Gott on one of our previous shows said that he was going to Tampa Bay, and he was right. Michelle, you're also on that segment. What do you think of this trade?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not think he was going to Tampa Bay. I just thought it was so random, and I really thought if he was going anywhere, he was gonna go to California because of his family there. But that being said, now that he has officially signed with Tampa Bay and he is gonna be there, and he's Bruce Arians has come out and spoken about him and getting him in there, and all the guys are excited. Chris Godwin has come out and just he gave Tom his number. He said, I respect this guy and I'm ready to learn from him. And I think that I'm just excited. I know that they're all gonna open their arms up for him. So I think it's gonna be a good change of pace.
And I'm glad you brought up that locker room energy, because in a team sport, especially like football, locker room energy is a huge part of the game. It's a huge part of the morale. Terrence, where do you think that Tom Brady is going to bring to that locker room energy in Tampa Bay and kind of like, get in with that team?
Right. Honestly, Tampa Bay gets a leader right off the bat because everybody knows Tom Brady is a proven leader. His work stands for it. So when he gets in that locker room, I remember seeing on the source that the one thing Tom Brady asked for when he first signed wasn't for his jersey number. It was to get all his teammates' phone numbers, which is really cool. That just shows his leadership skills right there. So they're going to come in, and he's going to come in with them, and they're going to get a leader. And it's going to be great, honestly. I think they're going to make a legit run. And who knows, they might actually make the playoffs.
All right. So I think one of the most interesting things about this is that we're going to get to see Tom Brady and Drew Brees and so many great quarterbacks. You got Drew Brees in there, you got Tom Brady, you have, you know, th- these monumental quarterbacks all playing each other twice a season.
Yeah.
Michelle, what's your favorite matchup? What are you most excited for?
I'm gonna go with the obvious, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I'm really excited for it. Two matchups this coming season. It's just gonna be a different look than the past. I think Tampa Bay had a good end to their season, besides those last two games where they fell off, and so I think they have some momentum built. And now that Tom is on board, I think that Tampa Bay is going to be a real threat this year. And I'm excited. I'm excited for football season, and I'm just excited for it to get started.
Well, Terrence, I'll ask you this now. What's left for New England? What do you think New England is going to look like without Tom Brady now?
Well, I mean, they still have the one of the best coaches in the league ever, which is Bill Belichick. By the way, happy birthday to him today. But honestly, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good without a quarterback because I mean, they really don't have a quarterback. They lost Tom Brady, and that's some big shoes to fill. So honestly, I think they just need to go get a quarterback out the draft and just build up. Knowing with Bill Belichick and the way he works, I could see them back in the playoffs in 2 years for sure. But this year, depending on who they get in this draft, if they get a quarterback or not, it just depends on if they'll make the playoffs or not. But if for sure not this year, next year they will be in the playoffs.
Michelle, Terrence just kind of touched on it. Do you think
Right.
that they're going to take a quarterback that's already a seasoned quarterback? Do you think they're going to draft fresh out of the draft?
So I just don't see them picking up any guys that are out on free agency right now. I think if they do draft, if they try to draft a third quarterback in the draft, I don't think that they're going to get anyone that's a star player. That being said, Tom was drafted really late, and so they could find a star among that. But I just don't see, if they do draft a third quarterback, this year is definitely going to be a building year. I think Jared Stidham will start because they're not going to start some rookie where there's not even an off season, preseason right now going on. They're not just going to start some rookie fresh. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to have some monumental season like they've had in the past. Obviously, they've lost a lot of players, not just Tom. They lost Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins. So I think this is definitely going to be a building year for the Patriots.
Terrence, I'll ask you the same thing. I previously I talked about Jake from Georgia.
Mhm.
They've talked a lot about him going to the Patriots. Do you see them not drafting another quarterback? Do you see them picking someone out of the draft?
I see them drafting a quarterback. It just depends on who's there when it's time for their pick. If there's not a quarterback they're not liking, like Jake Fromm would be a perfect quarterback. If he's on the board when they pick, it's going to happen. I guarantee it. But at the same time, they still have that option to tank for next year and get Trevor Lawrence, which honestly, he's going to go top 5 for sure
Oh
himself.
yeah,
So
he will not be
yeah,
there for them. Yeah.
yeah,
We've talked about Tom Brady a lot. I want to shift gears to kind of his home life. You mentioned, Michelle, that you thought that he was going to LA. He has a lot of family there. What do you think that this move to Tampa is going to do with like his home life? He's a great guy. He's all out there. He
Yeah,
takes
he's a
salary
family
cuts for
man.
teams, stuff
Right.
like that. So what do you think that this is going to mean for him as a person moving to Tampa Bay?
Well, obviously, it's come out that they are renting a home actually owned by Derek Jeter, which is really cool in Tampa. So I don't think they're sticking around in Tampa once he just comes out and says he's done, with football. The one thing is that a lot of people came out and said after speaking with him, like Bruce Arians and stuff, that he went with Tampa because it's on the East Coast. He's close to family that's on the East Coast, and we all know that that's important. He's a family man, so I just think that that kind of led into his decision making. But I think he could have explained it either way had he gone to the Chargers, because his parents live in LA. He grew up in LA, so I don't know, you know.
Terrence, I'll ask you kind of the same thing. He's an old dog. Do you think
right.
he can learn new tricks at Tampa?
Well, he doesn't really need to learn new tricks, honestly, because the type of head coach that he has, Bruce, he's been known to love older school quarterbacks, so this is a perfect fit for him. And in my sense, it was the only fit that made sense. I was talking about this with Anthony. With him going to the Chargers, it kind of made sense, but it didn't make complete sense because he'd have been in the same situation he was in mostly the year before, which was not having a wide receiver really that can step up or having a true running back. But when he goes to Tampa, he actually has that. He actually has two wide receivers, two really good wide receivers with him, and a running back. So it honestly, for
Right.
me, it just made the most sense.
Same. I agree with you on that point too, Terrence. Like looking back now, that I just don't think the Chargers were established enough for Tom. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
would have gone in there and he would have sold tickets for them, and that's what they needed. But Tom needed
exactly.
to go somewhere where, yeah, Tampa Bay plays a little bit faster pace. They try
Hmm.
to get they no risk, no biscuit. That's how they
Yeah,
play. They need to.
exactly.
So Tom is gonna have to learn a little to get that. He's gonna have to not pass the ball too quick. He's going to have
Yeah,
to be comfortable in that pocket to get it down the field. That being said, though, Bruce has come out and said, we're really excited about him and we're going to work with him. And you're right. Bruce does respect those veteran players. He trusts them and he'll trust Tom. And a lot of people have compared Bruce to Bill in respect of, they're tough coaches. But
right.
I think the one difference is that, and Tom came out and said this, and this is why he picked Tampa Bay. They're ready to hear him, they're ready to listen to him, and they're ready to work with him. And some people thought that was a shot at
Right.
the Pats, but I don't know. I just think that he was looking for something different. He was looking
Mm.
for maybe I don't want to say his time to shine because I don't think he's that kind of player, but just, his
But but
he
in a
wants to
sense,
be
that's
heard.
exact. Yeah, but in a sense, that's why I think exactly what was going on. That's why I think he moved to Tampa because he wanted to prove
Right.
his legacy without Bill Belichick, and knowing at the end of the line that the deal wasn't going to work out with the Patriots, so he was going to be on the market. It only made sense to me to go to Tampa with their situation because going to the Chargers, Tom Brady wanted to make a legit run. He's thinking, I'm going to make a
Right.
legit run with Tampa
No, he
Bay.
wants to win another Super
Yeah,
Bowl. I totally
and
agree with you.
and it wasn't going to happen with the Chargers. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It had no way
not
of happening
not
at
for
all.
2 years, because
Not for 2 years.
he's always said he wants to retire once he's 45. So that wasn't gonna happen. What I
But
meant, I
honestly, is
don't
he
think
going
he's
to
an.
retire at 45?
I am a Tom Brady fan. I love Tom Brady. I do think that he is probably the greatest of his time, if not the greatest, the GOAT. But um, I think he will know. I think he'll know. Okay, I need to let go now. I need to let go because everyone says he has gotten older and
Mhm.
it's showing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. I mean, he's
I
done a
hope that he'll know when to end.
yeah, definitely,
You know?
because he's done a lot better. I mean, it'll be a different scenario than like say for he just signed with Indianapolis. I'm having a total brain fart.
Um,
Came from the Chargers. I can't even think of his name, but it was a total different thing than him because he's actually had a decline. Whereas Tom Brady, he's had a slight
right,
decline, but he still has proven that he can play in this game. Which that's
right.
why I'm saying, in all honesty, he signed a 2-year deal, Tom Brady, but I only see 1 year out of him. He might have signed a 2-year deal, but it's either this year or bust
I
for me.
think there's a lot of speculation with that too. I agree with
Yeah,
you. Let's say this is a big year. He goes to Tampa Bay. The Super Bowl's in Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
Super Bowl's gonna be in
It's the
Tampa Bay this year.
perfect. It's
So
yeah,
I
it's the perfect
think if
situation.
he goes to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, I think he's gonna say, okay, this is it. I'm happy. This is what I needed. I think though there's a lot of pressure on him because of that. A lot of people have came out and said that he's trying to pull a Peyton Manning, and
Yeah,
I
that's what
don't
it's looking like.
know. It is looking like that. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, I think that he's just I don't know. I think he's himself.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
think
also
he's
have to
going out there being like, I want to be like Peyton. He's like, I want
yeah,
to win another Super Bowl.
but you have to also look at what Tom Brady has around him. He does have wide receivers. He has a decent running back, but at the same time, they need help on the O line, honestly. So if anything is going to happen, the O line needs to come in.
Yes, I agree. I think they need to get another guy in there for the O line for sure to protect Tom because if they're gonna want him to play that no risk, no biscuit game, they need to get another guy in there so that Tom feels comfortable that he has that time in the pocket to get down the field for sure.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I'm sorry for that technical difficulty. I'll be filling in for Mercedes for the rest of this episode, and just want to ask you guys, what what kind of what do you think motivated Tom Brady to go to Tampa Bay the most? Do you think it was because the Super Bowl was in Tampa Bay? Do you think it was because of the weapons? Do you think it's because of location, or do you think he just, or do you think the most, or do you think he just wanted to get to any team that wasn't with Belichick?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's a number of those things. Let's talk about the on brand part of it. TB times TB, that's a big deal. That's cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
could see Tom Brady going in there and being like, we're going to sell my brand, we're going to win some games, and we're going to make, history. That's historic. TB times TB, that's cool. My other thing is, yeah, I think he was ready. He even came out and, he didn't formally say, the Patriots wouldn't let me do this and that and this and that. But he did say, the Bucks, they want to listen to me and they want to hear what I have to say. They want to see what I can do. And I think that was kind of like an informal,
Hmm.
slide at the Pats. Um, I don't know. I just
Hmm.
think it's a number of things. But I don't think it was per se the location. I just think he found it as the right fit. Bruce Arians and Jason Licht came out and said that it was almost like he was trying to sell them why they should want him. I think he was
Exactly.
just dying for a change. So
Yeah,
that's just
exactly.
what
I
I
don't really think it was a Super Bowl being in Tampa Bay. So most, I think it was who gives Tom Brady the best chance to be back in the Super Bowl. and that
Right.
was Tampa
I
Bay.
agree.
And
Yeah.
it didn't a close second was his family. I'm sure his family had some input on this. So, but honestly, for me, it was the team who he surrounds himself with. He knows he needs some work in some areas. He knows he's going to get there because I mean, it's like having LeBron James on your team. Once you have LeBron James on the team, you're going to listen to what he wants to say and what he wants. So it's the same thing with Tom Brady. You're going to listen to Tom Brady, then maybe they can make a run. Honestly,
So do you
Yeah.
think that Tom Brady kind of has that power similar to LeBron James? I know the NFL and the NBA aren't on the same level as far as players being able to dictate where they go. But do you think Tom Brady's
right?
getting to that point where he has that kind of LeBron James esque power to go to whatever team he wants to now?
Well, we're gonna see because I mean, he honestly did it too late in his career to say he's like a LeBron because LeBron was moving when he was still pretty young. But I mean, honestly, that came in with the Bill Belichick. Now that he's gone from Bill Belichick, we're gonna see if he's actually the LeBron of the NFL, if he can actually take over. So if he takes over this year and he shows out, he definitely is, in my opinion.
I it's hard for me because but like you said, Jared, basketball and football are just such different sports. But in the same respect, I think LeBron James brings a brand to any team he goes. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I think that's exactly what Tom Brady does too, regardless if he had gone to the Chargers or Tampa Bay. Um, I'm not gonna say that it was his one thing that made him go to Tampa Bay TV times TV, but I think that was like a big thing, the brand thing. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just
All right. Well, that's all the time we have left for today. Join us next week on Sports Zone. We're going to be talking about the NFL draft that's coming up in a week. So I'll see you guys. We will see you guys next week on Sports Zone.
All right. See you guys later.
bye.